My name is Victor Cox and I am with Shop 99 Filtered Vent. Today I'm going to share a story from my personal past about my squad leader, Staff Sergeant Allen, who I was deployed with back in 04 and 05 as a medic in the United States Army. This story is going to have talks of death and mortality, so if that isn't your thing, I don't take it personal, but feel free to close my video and go watch someone else's if that's something you're not comfortable listening to. So, like I said, back in 04 and 05, I was deployed in Iraq. Being a medic in the United States Army, my job was to care for soldiers and any people I might come across with while out on patrols. The specific day that I'm going to be talking about, I was out with my Staff Sergeant Allen, and there was a vehicle-borne IED attack in a checkpoint. Lots of people were injured, lots of damage to property. It was pretty gruesome. Staff Sergeant Allen, being the senior medic, took charge of the situation as we were the first two medical personnel on the scene. At the time, I was just 19 years old, had just gotten out of basic training, just got out of AIT, had only been in country a couple months, never seen anything like it. He went right to work, triaging patients, taking charge, commanding people higher ranked than him to get everything set up, get the areas cleared, and so that we could help start taking care of injured individuals. Unfortunately, he had to make a lot of hard decisions because in triage, there's a certain set of rules and guidelines that we follow. And sometimes, unfortunately, due to the severity of injuries or our inability to perform certain procedures, people get set aside. And he had to make a lot of choices that day. He had to choose who got immediate attention and who didn't. And although we helped a lot of people that day, there were a lot of people that did not make it. And it really kind of weighed heavy on me. And he talked to me about it after it was all done. And being young, not having seen anything like that, I didn't understand why the choices were made other than it was protocol. And me being young, I had a lot of emotional remorse to it. And he explained it to me in a way that, unfortunately, sometimes you have to remove emotion from situations, because even though there's a person on the ground clinging to life and their child is there crying over them, they may not be able to be saved. And there are 10 people who, even though have life-threatening injuries, because we have the equipment, the skill, and the ability, we could save 10 people in the amount of time that we may not be able to save one. And unfortunately, you have to make those tough decisions as a leader. So why do I bring this up? Why do I use such a drastic and graphic example? Because pretty much it's the only one I have. But we as future leaders inside the shipyard are gonna have to make tough decisions. Now, they're not gonna be as life or death as the one I mentioned. However, we're still gonna have to make decisions that we may not necessarily like. There may come a time where a coworker who's been our friend for years, we worked with them, had dinner with their family, and made lasting relationships, does something, and we might have to fire them. We might have to report an incident that is going to get that person in trouble. And it doesn't matter if they're our friend. It doesn't matter that we like them. What matters is that what we do is the right thing and what's for the greater good. Or if you don't want to use the greater good, it's just for the right reasons. So that's where my takeaway on this is. We as leaders are going to have to make decisions, and sometimes we're going to have to remove emotion, because even though it's something we don't like, it's still something we're going to have to do. Thank you for listening.